I'm all about going live. We're live up.
Are you now?
I don't think we are.
I don't think we're live. I haven't seen anybody yet. We're gonna like really.
Are we live or we live?
We're really.
We're living to go live, bro.
Come see us.
We're
Not live.
We're not live yet. Hang on.
Now we're live.
Yep.
Are we live? I don't think so. Are we sure?
Yes.
Yahoo, what's up? Yeah, everyone's gonna be like.
oh, hey.
Like I said, more people are gonna freak out than we're on
Wow.
time. Than
Whoa. Yo.
Hey, we're live.
Whoa.
We see that.
We got 26 people.
We got the
Already?
YouTubers.
40.
Facebook. Where are you, Facebook? Anybody from Facebook?
Look, Richard says impressive.
Well, it all depends on who's here, Richard. Just kidding. Oh, we got Facebook.
Look, see, there's Facebook.
They were good.
Hey, really quick, if you guys just joined in right now and you're watching this, make sure you scroll all the way over or hit the live button, because a lot of you, when you join in, you start watching this and we're an hour and a half ahead of you. So if you're just joining in watching this, make sure you're live so your comments line up with what we're talking about. And you can win stuff. Do it. Do it now.
Yeah. So what he's referring to, guys, is if you're tuning in, we see comments. Like, we'll ask, like, what's your favorite spinner color? And then an hour later, we'll see people answering that question on the live. And we know it's because they are behind. And so Clint, very smart producer move, Clint, saying, we're trying to say this to you guys at the start of the feed. So if you're joining any time after, we went live at 6:30. And if you're not following with us live, your comments, we might be seeing them, but we're not going to answer them because it's something that happened an hour ago.
I think we need to make like a bottom thing that says like, make sure you're live, like where you click it up like a bottom third or whatever.
Yeah, I don't work for you. I'm not going to do that.
Well, I'm just saying it might be.
Yeah, no, dumb idea.
Might be a great idea that a good producer would have thought of long ago.
No, that's
here
a
we
dumb.
are 8 years into this thing, and here we are.
That's a dumb idea. Speaking of dumb ideas,
Speaking of dumb ideas, we'll have lots of them for you guys later on tonight.
You know, it's still going to be a problem even if you put that.
All right, everybody. Yeah, we were live at 6:30 tonight. We are going to be talking a lot of cool stuff. We're going to be talking about river safety, a little etiquette, mainly kind of keeping it on the safety as you guys are heading to the tributary stuff. It's a big conversation that a lot of people do like to talk about. We appreciate your input as always. But first, as always, we got to give a huge shout out to Stevens Marine for sponsoring this live feed and podcast. Got some really cool, exciting things coming up with those guys here very soon. Actually, I'm sporting my 𝗛𝗛𝗥𝗗 sweatshirt, not actually on purpose, but I just threw it on as I ran out of the house feverishly fast, trying to get here on time for you guys tonight. But anyways, huge shout out to those guys. As always, looking up for your boating needs in Milwaukee and Tigard in the Portland area. And even if you're coming from afar, check them out. They are the experts.
I like how you make out like that wasn't intentional. Like that,
It actually was. I wear the
Marlon has on the spreadsheet, Cameron wear 𝗛𝗛𝗥𝗏 sweatshirt.
Oh, wait a second. You really think we're that organized?
Dude, you obviously
really, whoa.
Did you
know
log
that-
in? Did you log in and look at the spreadsheet? Bro,
Oh,
it's on there.
I totally did.
It's-
I told
I mean,
Jen,
it
where
has-
you at, Jen? Why do you not have like our uniforms and our apparel wear that night? We should be wearing addicted tuxedos every night.
Dude, it's on there. I spend a lot of effort and time deciding
You
which
did?
outfits everyone's
You did?
going to wear,
Did you
and I
get
put
it
it.
now?
Jason looks at it every week. He hasn't missed one.
did. That is so full of garbage. Anyway,
Clint's freaking
Oh my
on
God.
one right now, dude.
this is gonna be good.
Oh yeah, bud. Wait till I have this water over here.
It's gonna be a good live.
Wait till I
feed
drink some water.
Everybody. It's going to be a good live feed. Showtime. Everyone's tuning in. Yeah, let us know where you guys are tuning in from. If you guys are out there catching any fish right now. A lot of coho around. Somebody just asked how long does a coho normally run till? And Jacob, there's places that it's going to run till about early to mid-December. You know, there's definitely some tribs that get them real late stocks of beer on coho. And I still I want to say the best is yet to come on them still, but
Yeah.
I mean, we had all that rain last weekend and it kind of helped, but it didn't really like make things wild.
No, as far as beer on coho, I think that what that rain did is that sucked a lot of the rest of the A run into the river. And then I think what we're going to be working on now is, you know, the last bit of our A run, first tiny little push of B runs, and then really once we get that next blowout or that next little rise in the rivers.
We're supposed to get one this weekend.
Yeah, I think that's when we'll really start to see some good pushes of B run coho.
Wait, you guys have a wardrobe department?
I caught myself.
You got yours. You really think we're that organized here, guys? Holy cow. Clint's water is whiskey. Yeah, I think that's why he thinks he cracked himself up. Anyways.
It's not whiskey.
Yeah, my local Trib opens Saturday. Gonna go catch some boots. Fair enough. Catch them, but let them spawn. You know, the cohort clear up in Idaho, just coming in thick over Lower Granite. Very cool. Wasn't aware of that one. Yeah, we're doing good though, guys. So yeah, we're gonna talk a little bit about like some of the tributary water safety stuff. You know, I know a lot of you guys have been with us for a lot of time, but there's always something new in all these, and then you got to realize we do these kind of not repetitively. I don't want to use that word, but seasonally.
Yeah, I mean,
because we have a lot of new viewers. We have a lot of new viewers that tune in.
New viewers, and I feel like you can never touch on boater safety.
Oh, true that. True that. But then also, guys, too, this stays up on our YouTube channel for the whole week, and so people go and we'll get 10,000 views on this over the period that it's up for the week, so you guys can check that out too. So people are tuning it in.
Yeah.
Anyways, what do we have for announcements? I didn't get an email from Jen, or did I just miss it?
No, I don't think I did either.
There is possibly only one announcement, but Marlon's not here to make the decision. So do we?
I have no idea what you're talking
I can
about,
make it.
so.
How about I just make it and then we deal with it?
You.
It's the Black Saturday warehouse sale.
Oh yeah, on November 29th.
I don't know. It must be the Saturday after Thanksgiving.
Warehouse bash Saturday after Thanksgiving. Details to come.
Yeah. Annual.
It's in the calendar.
Apparently, it's the annual warehouse Black Saturday sale.
What's up, bro? Thanks for taking my money last Saturday, you jerk.
Bass fishing.
Yeah.
Look at his profile pic, bro.
Yeah, a couple studs.
Some
donkeys.
Some donkeys.
Oh,
Learn so much from the guys that did it. Thank you. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. Why don't you catch fish anymore? Bro. I mean, I don't fish past 11 any day. I'm so full of crap.
Where's that one? Where's that one?
Well,
I've rewatched the live stream many times to learn. Yeah, thank you, Josh. Do you guys give away the fish fighter thing from a few weeks ago? We did give away. Yeah, we gave away the two. There was a trash can and then another like big gift certificate. Yeah,
it was two trash.
I think there was maybe a trash can to go, but I don't know I don't know about that. We need to confirm.
To our knowledge, we've gave it all away. That's all we know.
Watching from Ridgefield, that's so far from here.
Daniel Benedict.
It's a grip, man.
Russell with the ever classic. Hey Cam, never mind. It doesn't work online, bro. It's kind of like it just doesn't say. Just kidding. Ben Adams, drift boat safety tips, please. Okay, when there's rocks in the middle of the river,
don't hit
and it's flowing at like 0.2 miles an hour, just make a decision and go one way or the other instead of into said rock. You are the prime definition of a squirrel that stays in the middle of the road and doesn't decide which way to go until it finally gets ran over. That's exactly what happened. That's tip of advice for you there, bud.
Did you get that on camera at all?
Oh, we did. It was epic.
What, is that coming out?
No, this was years ago. Bro.
I know.
Years ago.
But did you get
it the whole time I'm sitting in the front seat with Alex while he bends at the sticks and he's like rowing. And I kind of turn on, I go, turn on the camera. And Alex was like, what? What's going on? I don't know. What do you want me to do?
Don't see what's about to happen.
Yeah, he was the squirrel in that middle of the road. Yeah. What are your top 3 aid emergency things you guys have on a boat at all times other than obvious life jackets? Russell, that's a great question.
Oh,
in a few minutes.
Do that.
We do have a special. Yes. Thank you. And there was some really good ones up, and I forgot to tell you.
There was?
Yeah, you might want to, when we get, we have a special guest in house tonight. We're going to bring him in here in just a couple minutes. You want you get a prize pack. And I want to reiterate a little bit on the rant that I gave last
Yes, there we go, everybody.
It's not going to be ranty, but it's going to be, so I got a lot of feedback. We'll call it that. And 99% of it was in complete and total agreement with what I had to say. That, unfortunately, I believe that our department is pretty inept in actually making sure that we have salmon and steelhead runs that are going to be good for either sport fishing or consumptive fisheries and not just to study to death, which is what we are really good at here in Washington State. I do want to bring in one reiteration that I should really have pertained that conversation to steelhead. Because with steelhead in Washington State, I truly, firmly believe that within 10 years, we will not be fishing them, with the exception of maybe 2 full rivers. Case in point, Puget Sound steelhead, Quicksilver project, and the joke of that thing that is, where we're going to do 4 hatchery programs and one of them being a summer for the whole Puget Sound, shows you that they don't care. It's not enough to where it's ever going to be consumptive for people. And what we're going to eventually lose on the North Coast, and what we're eventually going to lose in Southwest Washington as well. Because until we decide, and the one shining light that we actually had going in the right direction, which was a broodstock program on the Washougal, was promptly and quickly X-dayed out by removing the Skamania hatchery. At the end of the day, it's not a priority to our department. Eventually, we will have those steelhead numbers get depressed because the only thing that they can control is us as anglers. So we will be the first one X-dayed out of it, whereas the state will then continue to study it, play with them, do some reintroductory products, and really anything outside of like a complete dam removal, like with what our department's doing, we will lose steelhead in 5 to 10 years, mark my words. So I should have really said that. I understand that we did plant a lot more Chinook, basically to feed the killer whales because we killed those off back over the last 20, 30 years. So yeah, I guess we have been making some strides in some of the Chinook plantings. It's another 27 million I think we have on the board right now. Should have been 50 a few years ago. They're working on it. I get it. But when it comes to steelhead, we're screwed. Like, we're screwed as we stand here today. There is nothing positive going on in what we're doing for steelhead. I know of one program, and it's not even really a department program. It's more of a power program. We'll leave it at that. That might pay dividends, might. However, it's a big risk because we lost a steelhead program, and now we're hoping that it works. Not going to really elaborate on it because I guess it remains to be seen if it's going to be work or it's going to be positive. However, yeah, so when it comes to steelhead, enjoy them while you can. And if you are one of those programs and you're in one of those states, on the coast, we'll just leave it at that does have productive steelhead vision, get ready because you're about to ready to have another 1,000 anglers down there because it's going to be the only place left. So anyways, so when it comes to steelhead, yeah. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's...
What are you reading over there?
It's junk.
Steelhead pictures?
Yeah, one of the guys that I know was sending emails to a bunch of people regarding the issue with the Skamania hatchery.
Yeah.
And, it was not good. He was wondering if we were going to address any of the issues.
We addressed it last week. Not shocked.
Not
shocked at all. Like I said, it's time to go study, freaking lesbian tree frogs or something else like that the department's going to spend money on, like I said last week, instead of actually like working on steelhead. Because if the steelhead numbers get reduced to where they're not meeting escapement, well, they're still going to get grants and they're going to get ESA grants and they're going to get money to study them. But you and I won't be fishing for them. Yeah, guaranteed.
They'll get theirs.
We'll be the first one that are out the door.
Yep, they'll get theirs, and we'll get.
And once again, tell me the steelhead fishery that we've been removed from, that has come back in leaps and bounds, and then we've been brought back to. Give me one.
Which one?
I'm asking.
None.
Anybody out there? Give me one. Give me one.
Yeah, none.
Give me one. Now I understand. Like we remove a dam and we open up 80 river miles of spotty. Like yeah, we did something,
and it's still not open.
It's not fair. But I'm just saying, like. Other than that, like I don't see much going on. Anyways, so just want to like bring that back maybe more to a steelhead standpoint. And anybody wants to prove me wrong, let's hear it. I want to hear it from you. Like you're wrong, Cameron. They're doing this. I'd love to hear it. I don't see it.
Dang.
Yeah. Anyways, can we put together a privately funded project for steelhead and take the state out of it? Yeah. I mean, can't really take the state out of it because unfortunately the state manages it, and that's probably the biggest problem. Mm-hmm. But there are programs that are funded by sportsmen that are very productive and work
very well.
There's
firsthand evidence.
Oh, Ben says the 𝗛𝗏𝗏 River. Yeah, don't talk. We can't talk about the 𝗛𝗏𝗏, Ben. That's the program I was talking about earlier.
Sick.
Very hush hush. Everyone can go try to look it up. They're never gonna find it. It's all
sick
good.
Hashtag no river names.
On the coast. I know Ben just dropped it, but whatever. Doesn't really matter. None. Once they take, they're gone. Yeah, I agree. Like Wind River, Hood River. I mean, a lot of these rivers that like we were supposed to get back 20 years ago, like still don't have them back. Yeah. Anyways. Okay, let's bring in our special guest. We've got EJ from 𝗛𝗘𝗟𝗣, who's going to give us an update on the 𝗛𝗘𝗟𝗣 app and its awesomeness, and how if you pretty much the only way that Jason and I go out every day to catch fish is we pull up our 𝗛𝗘𝗟𝗣 app, tells us exactly where to go, what to use, how to do it, and then we go catch fish, and then we're off the water at like 10 o'clock every day.
Lies.
And then we leave. How's that for a sales pitch?
Is your mic? Did you
That's
turn your mic
actually
on?
amazing.
I mean, there you go, guys.
Not wrong.
Not wrong.
DJ,
𝗛𝗘𝗟𝗣 every
did
day.
you turn yours on? Are you green?
Every day.
I am green,
Every
sir.
single day.
I'm just kind of wondering how I missed that steelhead rant from last week because
Oh,
That's a good
it was
one, dude.
more of a fisheries rant, but it was epic. But I wanted to bring it back to steelhead because steelhead's the prime example where we're all going to be down in your neck of the woods
dude,
real soon.
I will
All of
not.
us.
It's
All of us.
funny because I live in Washington, but I go to Oregon to fish for steelhead.
I don't blame you.
because it's different. The fisheries are different. Let's just say
We'll leave it at different.
let's just say that. I mean, when
Oh,
I
you mean they're open for 6 months out of the year? They never
Wait,
close.
no,
They
no,
have
I
2
was gonna say
hatchery
they're
fish
always
limits. They
open.
have incredible wild steel. No, they have all these things. Weird. I can't imagine. Well, that was kind of a cool trick. I don't know if I can do that either.
How
It's
did
like,
you
I can't
pull that
imagine
one
why a fisherman would just say, well, I can spend freaking 6 hours here in Washington trying to catch one. I can just go down there and catch them. I don't understand why they do that.
yeah, it's a funny one because I tell people all the time, I'm like, dude, I caught 6 today, and they're like, really?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, it's a real thing, but it's because they take care of their fisheries down there. It's different.
Imagine that. What you put in it.
So, all right. So,
Catch it out. I'm
guys,
going to waltz over here real
so-
fast. Keep going.
Cameron was just talking about the 𝗛𝗘𝗟𝗣 app, and I'm going to open this up for questions here in just a few
Explain
minutes.
to people what the 𝗛𝗘𝗟𝗣 app is. We have a lot of new people watching. Pretend
So-
like new people watching.
New people are watching. So, 𝗛𝗘𝗟𝗣 is it's your one-stop shop for everything you need for fishing. So it comes complete with rules and regulations, up-to-date emergency regulations, tides, weather, river levels, ocean conditions, stocking reports, fishing tips and info for every location. And it also has a social feed where you can post and share pictures and all of that stuff. And we've been live on the App Store now for 2 years.
I was going to say well over a year.
Yeah, 2 years, and it's really starting to grow, and people are really starting to like it. Other than contrary to Clint's belief over there, but people are really starting to like this app and actually like use it quite a bit. If you go onto our social feed when we first started, man, there's like 1 or 2 pictures, and now you go on there and it's getting blown up.
Yeah. Every few minutes, it seems like.
Yeah, I love it. So, so for the people that have 𝗛𝗘𝗟𝗣, I want to talk about, and the people that don't have 𝗛𝗘𝗟𝗣, I want to talk about our new features that we have implemented over the past couple of months because we've been really working hard. And then I want to talk about what we're going to do going into 2026.
Nice, yeah.
And I'm excited about 2026 because we've been limited to the Pacific Northwest.
And now we're going to be all 50.
And now we're going to be everywhere.
Nice. Right on.
So it's going to be an amazing thing. But so if you look at the 𝗛𝗘𝗟𝗣 app, we have our new mapping feature, guys. I don't know if you guys have seen it. Clint, you want to pull that up?
What do you want?
I want you to pull up the mapping, the picture you made such a beautiful comment on. And
Dude, that's such an epic.
What do you
that-
want?
well, you know what? It's a screenshot.
Yeah, I like it. It's awesome.
Good.
Keep going.
So, guys, what you see here is a map that's part of Washington, actually, and it has every body of water in Washington and Oregon on it. And what you can do is you can click on that water body, and then it'll pop up with your rules and your regulations. It'll tell you what fish are in season, what fish are out of season, and then it'll have your catch seasons, minimum requirements, and daily limits for those fish on that water body. And we implemented some new features on our mapping just recently where we have a 3D view and a 2D view and a topographic view. So that is not it for sure, but I didn't give you screenshots of that, Clint. I should have.
It's basically, if I were to explain it in any way, it's basically Onyx, but for fishing.
And on steroids.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah,
it's-
it gives you a lot of information. I mean, pretty much any weather condition Gives you your wind, gives you your temperature, gives you your rain, gives you your barometric pressure.
Yeah, and moon phases.
Gives you the moon phase.
If you believe in that sort of thing.
That's a real thing.
And actually, you know, I paid attention to barometric pressure this year,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm actually kind of like I've been a naysayer, but I don't.
It's a real thing.
I think it's a real thing
For sure.
but so
especially in small water.
you know,
I think you guys are nuts. That's fine.
It's
Cameron
just
thinks we're crazy, but
Cam's a
I
little
have
crazy
noticed.
himself.
So
Yes.
I saw a video of this. I saw a video this morning on how it actually does what it does with fish.
Mm-hmm.
And it, like, if it's the higher the pressure, think about it, it pushes those fish and makes them slower to bite. If it's lower pressure, they're more active, right? And I did notice that this year when I was fishing
Mm-hmm.
on certain days where you look at the pressure and you actually start paying attention. You're like, maybe this does like have something to do.
A little bit.
But so the other feature that we implemented this year, this last few months, is the water conditions. And that was a huge one for, I know you, Jason, because you were like, I don't want to hyperlink. So when we first started this app, guys, it was really interesting because we had hyperlinks and stuff like that. And we're trying to get everything to be inside the app so that you guys don't have to go anywhere. And what?
Oh, my buddy Sam. He just pops in and says hi.
Oh, I got you. So if you look at the top of that screenshot, guys, so on every water body right now, you can actually see the gauge height, the water temperature, the turbidity, and all of that right inside. Does the Catchstone app have contour lines and river channels? So, BMAC, I'm going to answer your question in just a second, okay? So I actually am really looking forward to answering that question.
I can't wait.
Clint is such a
I love you. I will see you.
I can't wait to hear
very,
the answer.
Very soon.
I can't wait to hear the answer. I want to know.
EJ, break it off.
All right. Well,
I'm just having fun, y'all. God, you guys are being
you
so
done?
serious. Okay, yeah, I'm done. I'll turn my mic off.
Be professional, Clint. Come on.
Yeah, come on. It's like every live feed, but I love it. It's fun. This is why people watch. That's exactly true. So we're talking about now, Clint. Will you be so kind to pull up the graphs?
Oh yeah, hang on. Let me.
And what do we have, Johnny? There it is.
Wow, look at that.
All right, so awesome. So now on every water body, you can see predictions as well. So you can see the 7-day, like the history, and this is for every single water body. Now, we did implement an API where we thought it was going to provide 100% of the data, but it looked to be like, oh, there's Richard Armstrong. He's one of our developers. He's on here, and he's actually watching your guys' comments. So if you want to rip us apart, rip him apart. And then I'll watch and laugh. So we implemented this API, and it has about 75% of the data that we want. And so we're working really fast to try to get 100% of that data. So if you click on a river and you see that some of that information is actually missing, it's because the API that we're using doesn't have that data. But we're working really, really hard to get it. Right, Richard? And it should be done very, very soon in the next couple of weeks. That's what my hope is.
Nice, because, I mean, honestly, just looking at the river and just knowing what that graph is I mean, I don't even see a water temperature or turbidity level on that river.
Right.
So.
Yeah, and so some of and what's interesting is some of the rivers, I don't know which river that is because I just clicked on one to kind of show it. So on some of the rivers, they don't have the data, right?
Yep.
So like if it's not there, it's a possibility that it's not that we don't have the data. It's just that data is actually not provided by USGS or NOAA or something like that. So, but like if you click on the Willamette River, it's going to give you the water temperature, the turbidity, and the flow and everything. So, which is because that's provided by, I mean, that data is available.
Yeah.
I'm actually kind of surprised like how many rivers don't have data.
Water level, feet, and CFS. That's it.
Yeah. And I mean, you're talking about safety tonight, right? And catch zone with the water levels and stuff like that can be used to actually
be safe.
Be safe because you check the water levels before you go, know your rules and your regs, and then you're off and running, right?
Yeah, it's a huge part of being safe on the river.
So I have a question. And my mic's on too. And since you brought up the Onyx, it kind of reminds me because I use my Onyx a lot for when I'm pre-scouting a body of water, whether it be for like a tournament or like river points or whatever. Like let's say I'm sending a pin to Jason or vice versa. Like, oh, there's a river rapid here. Is there any kind of mechanism to where you can like plot points like an Onyx map on the catch zone, or like what you would do for that soon? Because that's one thing that I really do when I'm going down south and doing some of those lakes like we talked about a while ago.
Right.
But I'll go through, and as I'm doing my research, I'm plotting different points of interest and waypoints on that map. Is that something that on the radar for catch zone, or just does?
So not only is it on the radar, but it does it now.
Does it now?
Yeah.
Perfect.
So literally, you can pull up the map. You can actually scroll through all the where you want to go look, and then say you want to stop at a specific point. You can actually save that point on your map. You can share that location with a friend.
Put-ins, takeouts, river rapids, points of interest, good fishing holes that your buddies tell you. Like you can do your pre-research, and I'm really into that stuff.
Yeah, and you can actually get navigation.
What's wrong with you over there? Are you laughing at me, or am I to kick you in the face?
No, I started joking on my own spit.
Oh my god!
The professionalism by Clint tonight is great. Anyways, so explain that feature, because when it comes to river safety, this way, you won't miss your takeout.
Right.
This way,
you won't miss your takeout. You won't miss.
You know
any
where some
sweepers.
rapids are that your buddies told you, hey, to take caution at.
Avoid.
Like just things or no fishing areas, or well, I mean, if it's Washington State areas you can or can't fish by boat. I mean, heck, it could be any of it.
Yeah, and so that's another thing that our mapping feature actually offers is all the boat ramps. So all the boat ramps are on there, but there are tons of boat ramps where you're probably talking about going.
I was just gonna say, like, there's a ton of slides and like road pullouts and
Right, so you can actually mark those on your map, which is your personal pin. It doesn't show to everybody else. Mm-hmm. And then you can actually share that location to a buddy, or you can navigate to that location as well.
So when it's like you send the link or whatever it is, and then it opens it up on the Catch Zone app?
It doesn't open it up on the Catch Zone app. It opens it up on the mapping device for your phone.
Gotcha.
Because if you were trying to do like navigation inside the app would end up being so slow.
Yeah.
It would be like you're trying to run Google Maps and all of these other things all at one time.
Mm-hmm.
So like for mapping and all of that, it recognizes. So I have an Apple device. If I send you a pin and you have a Google device, it's going to pull up in Google Maps.
Gotcha.
And then that works okay for because that's going to be integrated into your vehicles and all that other good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, rather than all being in the app, then like you said, the app would just be.
But if you save it yourself, will it be in the Catch Zone app?
Yeah. So if
not publicly, but for yourself.
Right.
For
that's
yourself.
what I'm asking.
So if I go in here, is there a side cam or something we can pop open?
Mm-hmm.
Here, let's pop that open real quick. So I'm gonna open up the app real quick, and just for so here's our mapping. And it's actually going to pull to my current location of where I'm actually at. And so say I want to go into this river right here, and I want to go check out this point of interest. So I can go like that. I can click right there. I can save a pin, and I can say hotspot from last week. And then you're going to save that. And then what happens is it's going to actually pop up on your device, and you can click it. I clicked on the river. And I can actually share the location, or I can get directions to that spot Sorry, guys. I don't know what I clicked. But where was I? So, all right. So, click on it, and then I can share that. So I'm going to share it with Jason right now. So I'm going to share it with Jason. And then it's going to pop through with that location to Jason in a text message, and he can go right there. There, it came through, right?
Yep.
And so this is what we were talking about with the information. So you click on the river, and it's actually going to pop up with your fishing tips and info, the gauge height, the discharge, the graphs, all of that stuff. Doing it live is actually so much easier than
For sure.
trying to follow a darn screenshot. And this is a huge thing right here that gets overlooked in Catchzone that I want to talk about is the fishing tips and info for every location. So this was put together by tons of people in Addicted, tons of people that have experience fishing. And this will tell you when those fish are going to be in that water body, the best time to fish for them. And it'll even tell you how to set up your rod. So if you're new to fishing or just getting into it, it's one of those things that, hey, use Catchzone because it's going to show you a bunch of information. It'll even tell you spots. It'll tell you dangers on that river for your drift boat.
It'll give you a good base to go off of.
Yeah, exactly. And so there's that. And so we were talking about, when we're talking about pins and locations, say I'm on the river, Jason, and say you're fishing and you want to save a troll line. You can actually set a waypoint for your troll line and you can share that troll line with your buddy.
So it's like a tracker, basically.
It is.
Track.
So it's like if
I would
start...
never do that. They can all pound sand, but that's cool feature.
It is a cool feature because one, you get to you can share that information.
I'm gonna sell my waypoint.
Well, that's what I was just
I'm gonna sell my track points on Catchzone, everybody. So
well, that's what I was gonna say. Like all those holes that you walk through on that river from the top to the bottom the other day when we were you named them all.
Oh yeah,
I was like, if you pinned all those with the names, I bet people would pay for that.
That would actually be interesting, and I bet you
naming all the holes or maybe not areas that Cam was telling me about, but buoy 10 area where you could be like, hey, this is the checkerboard or this is that. That being on Catchzone would probably be beneficial to people that don't know the area. If you had information like that on it.
So let's.
Are you done with this?
Yeah, we're done with that. So let's not scare people into thinking that hey.
Don't scare people. People will buy it now.
I know, but they're gonna think that I can see or people can see their locations.
It's all for
No, none of us are saying that. I'm just saying just like you pre-program it with take-ins and takeouts, there's lots of other information that people could probably find valuable, like at buoy 10 or naming of holes that are not top secret. I don't know. I'm just saying.
It's a new way that we could monetize the app to make Cameron a bunch of money by him sharing his fishing spots.
Now that I've said that, I guarantee you somebody will take that idea. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I wonder who.
I probably...
is my mic on?
I saw a question about the cost of the app. And so we have 2 subscriptions for Catchzone. And the first subscription is a monthly subscription, which is $9.99. And then we have a yearly subscription for $69.99. And I just kind of... $69.99.
Any reasoning behind that?
Why can't it be 6, 7?
Okay. Don't do that 6, 7 crap because you know what? My social media guy made me do that crap. Makes me look like an idiot all the time. You all know him, TJ.
Yeah. EJ's more of a 69 guy versus a 6'7" guy.
Oh
That's what he was saying earlier.
There's kids on feed.
It's just a number. 6, 7.
It's 6, 7, but Clint is over there taking it to a whole new level.
You priced it at $69.
Yeah.
Don't fool yourself.
Dollars, $69.99. Nothing behind it, just so you know.
But wait, there's more. For an additional $16.99, you can get
Cameron's track.
It's actually an idea. It's actually an idea that might actually work.
People
because
are asking
people
if
follow us around
it
all
can
the
share
time.
my location so they can come low hole or tangle me. Like that would be for an additional $16.99. We'll work on that.
Don't even try to fool yourself. I broadcast that stuff for free everywhere I can.
When we're in a billboard out on the water, it's hard to miss it. But yeah, Longview was crazy this year with the crowds. But so we're back to Catch Zone. So questions. Does anybody have questions?
Yeah, I got a couple. Are you ready? I'm gonna
start
pinning them, so read them right here.
It's white. I can't.
How does the offline mode work? I'm going through everything now and I don't see anything to turn it on. And when I'm on the river without service, the app just doesn't load.
So the offline mode kicks in automatically. And so there's certain parts of the app, like your weather and stuff like that, that needs live data to be able to see it. But the mapping feature, it'll look like it's not loaded, but the search bar will be up at the very top, and you can still search the water body and get all of the information that you need for that water body. It'll actually pop up and the map will be blank, but the search bar should be still up top. And if it's not, ream Richard, because that is a feature that is a must-have. Because how many times do we not have service when we're fishing?
A lot.
A lot.
Yeah, there's multiple comments saying that they can't get it to load offline. So I've talked to Richard, if you're listening. Oh, wait, my mic's not on.
Turn your mic on, Clint. And
Richard, if you're listening, there's multiple people making the same comment that it doesn't load or work offline.
Okay.
So
I am going into airplane mode right now, and I'm going to see.
Here, answer this one. Yeah.
Does the app show where Clint is fishing so I can troll him?
No, I
or
really
cut his
explained
line?
that. It's not in the app. We'll broadcast that on every social platform we can when the opportunity.
The Addicted
I
Forum
don't
or
find
Cameron's Facebook page has that live.
Right?
Here's another question. Since you were talking about Onyx feeding it, I think this question is why they are asking it. Does it have landowner information for fishing access like Onyx?
It does not have landowner information at this point. That is something that we will be adding in the future. Now, whoever's having issues with their offline mode, one thing that you need to remember is that if you're out on the water and you try to open up the app for the first time, you need to have your app open. Because I'm offline right now, I'm on airplane mode, and I'm on the map, and I can search, and I can do, and it's actually popping up. You can see it. It's still there. So let's just search the 𝗪𝗘𝗟𝗣 River. And, right?
Yep.
Search
𝗪𝗪𝗟𝗣
somewhere,
River.
like search somewhere far away, like probably where it wasn't just loaded.
Okay,
Like,
so
go up to Bellingham.
What's a river in Bellingham?
Nooksack.
Nooksack. Okay.
I don't even know if there's fish in it, but Nooksack.
Yeah, Nooksack River right here. Bam.
Wow, look at me.
And actually, Nooksack actually has some emergency rulings and stuff like that right now. So, so if you're having an issue with your offline mode, there's an email that's in your profile page, fishwashingtonllc@gmail.com. Shoot me an email. I'll get back to you right away, and I will walk you through how to use it.
All right, this is the last question, and you said you were going to address it later. The contour lines or river channel.
All right, so we're going to jump into what is coming. So 2026, guys, is going to be a huge year. And
It's going to be huge.
Huge, massive. So it's actually going to, I'm super excited about it because we've been limited to the Pacific Northwest since we started this thing. And this next thing is going to take us outside
The Pacific Northwest.
the Pacific Northwest.
That's awesome, dude.
So we are in the middle of talking with Garmin, and we are getting Navionics implemented into our app.
So that'll show you a bunch of stuff in the water and out of the water.
In the water, out of the water. It's going to show you all the same stuff like you have on your head unit.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be right there on your device.
Nice.
And
That'd
so
be
it's
cool.
going to show your contour lines. It's going to show the water depths. All of that information that we use is coming. And what's cool about it is it's all throughout the United States. So every river, lake, stream, and ocean.
Mm-hmm.
So it will actually be nationwide now.
Nice.
As well as our weather works nationwide, as well as our tides work nationwide, and they go out 30 days now.
Damn, so a lot of
price?
developments.
Same price.
A lot of developments. That's cool.
Why would you pay for Navionics then?
So Navionics is like all it is. It's for your mapping. It'll be a layer that you can add
On the catch zone app.
on the catch zone app.
Yeah. Okay.
So literally, you'll be one day when it gets done, you'll be able to log on, go onto your mapping. You'll be able to hit the button, and it'll throw the contour lines over all the water bodies and stuff like that.
Nice. Okay.
So-
That'll be really cool. That'll be good because I mean, once again, it just takes away another app that you have to buy.
Yeah.
And it puts it all in one.
So the whole point of this thing is to make it the one-stop shop for everything you need.
One
for
stop
fish.
shop, man. One stopper.
I think we've made a lot of like big, huge strides over the past year compared to where we were when we first started.
Yeah,
So-
the first year seemed like it was a little one-dimensional, but now it's like literally a one-stop shop. I mean, no external links, nothing like that. The only thing that is the maps, and the reasoning behind that is the app would just work that much slower.
Right. Yeah.
So,
Speed is a huge one.
yeah, especially being
All right.
safe.
So, no more questions, right? We're not doing any more questions?
No, that was it.
Okay. Remember, fishwashingtonllc@gmail.com. I'll answer any questions you got. So we got. Thanks, guys.
Pretty much it. Cheers, dude.
On to safety.
On to safety. On to safety. Just like these scissors.
Okay,
Safety
go.
scissors.
Don't run with those.
Oh no. Well, you could run with these ones. I mean,
It would only
But we
stab
are
you a
talking
little
about
bit.
safety.
yeah.
And the thing is too is like they're not sharp, they're dull, so they'll probably hurt more.
Unless you want to like
How many people are watching, Clint?
a bazillion, zillion,
Really?
52 million,
Nice.
64,500.
Oh, man.
Let's
I say we just rapid fire the questions that you guys have already asked, just so we can catch us back up, because
Yep.
Clint actually has done a very good job producing, and we have a bunch of good questions here that he favorited, and now we can go back and read them.
Nice. Okay.
But if you
Okay.
guys still, if we can do this and also monitor the new questions, we can kind of go through there and just have the good discussion. We have I got some bullet points on my phone here worth talking about, but I think a lot of it is going to get.
And you know what we're going to do? We're going to give away a $25 Fish USA gift card to the best question.
We should just I feel like you already have a giveaway right now.
No,
No, that's a good idea. Yes, we'll do that.
we have to do
But we
that.
should do a giveaway for people that have been talking and asking questions, because the more that you guys comment on the feeds, whether it be on Facebook or YouTube, the more chances. Every time you comment, you have a chance at winning the prize pack that you have written right here, which is...
It is an Acme Little Cleo Classics kit. These
Ooh.
are 2/5 ounce spoons. Some
Ooh.
killer
Little spoon
colors.
swinging time there, buddy.
Killer colors.
Oh, yeah.
And then we have a matching Moonshine Millers hoodie sweatshirt.
There you go. And that's just for commenting, literally just for commenting, guys.
Should we
That's
just
it.
pick that
And
one
we're gonna
now?
pick a winner. Go ahead and randomize, pick a winner, because we're gonna the people that were commenting since the start of the live feed.
We're gonna reward
We're
you.
gonna do it right now. Pick a winner.
Watch an F word come up.
Geez. Alexandra Dumas, you didn't give away the second trash can.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
good enough to win. There you go. Alexander, send us your address, tell us what you won, and email it to orders@addicted.fishing, and we will get that out to you. Congratulations. And yeah, she said sick hoodie too, so guess what? You won the hoodie.
It's
There you go.
yours.
It's yours. Awesome.
It's all
But we will
yours.
have a $25 gift certificate brought to you by our friends at Fish USA, and maybe another prize pick at the end of the night. You know, like when Marlon's not here, we should just like give away the farm, and then he'll be here more often to be like, hey, you guys gotta like cool it the heck down.
We gotta chill out.
Just
on
like, you gotta
giveaways,
chill out a
dude.
little bit on that, everybody. Chill out a little bit. Chill out.
What are you choking on?
Nothing.
Brian?
Is everyone choking on
Yeah,
their own
Brian.
spit tonight?
No, just you, Clint. Just you. All right, let's go to those questions you got. 'Cause you got 11 of them.
Let's see.
Let's see what Clint picked at. And if your question was not selected by Clint, well, then you can therefore blame Clint.
Oh my God! Shut the front door.
Shut the front door, he says.
It
All
sounded
right.
like you were going to say the
How,
real
Jacob
thing.
Davis, how long does the coho fishing normally run till? We already answered that. Said tell, honestly, sometimes about early to mid-December, depending on the river systems you run. So get rid of that. Next question, David Ferens. What about plunking and having some CSFB stand in your... I don't know what that acronym means. CFB stand in your stuff, or the people across the river see you catch a fish.
Do you want me to start guessing what those letters stand for and swear
I
words?
started getting them, but I imagine it's probably a bad person. Stand in your stuff, or the people across the river see you catch fish. Now you can't fish because they're casting in your plunking lane because you caught fish. It happens.
What about it?
What about it? I don't really know. Like, I mean, that is kind of a common occurrence, right? Whether you're plunking or whether you're drifting, whether you're making a pass in the boat, like people see you like catch fish, they move in on you. I say as long as they're not impeding your like plunking zone and maybe like fishing 5 feet behind your bait, like you kind of only own the water you fish. And depending on if you're in a real crowded part of the river or there's like nobody else around, then it kind of depends on how close they would fish to you. But that's kind of on them. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I don't really
I
know
would
what he's
say
asking.
because
It happens and it sucks and there's some. But that's what we're here for. We're here for education.
Yeah,
Basically,
no, I would say
don't be a tool.
I would say it happens. It happens a lot during pressured fisheries, and it seems like, especially if you're on a smaller river, it's gonna tend to happen more because in those smaller rivers, sometimes fish just travel in that lane, and sometimes guys have to do whatever they can to try and get in front of those fish. And if you're in front of those fish, they're gonna definitely be in the same zone as you.
Yeah,
but as long as I would say
zone is smaller in the tributary.
Exactly. I mean, and I would say it sucks, but as long as they're not, I mean, snagging you, grabbing you, doing whatever, or casting right behind your bait, kind of like Kim was saying, I mean, there's really not a whole lot, I mean, you can do. I mean, you can cuss and scream at them all you want, but in all reality, like Cam said, you only own the water that, your bait is in.
Fishing,
Yeah.
At that time, too. Yeah. Another question from Kelly Hope. You got to be extra careful when you're only wearing wading pants. Yes.
That's a fact. Yeah.
So any
Usually
tips?
when I wore my wading pants, I freaking loved them, by the way. I would try not to go anywhere past my knees, especially if I was like actually wading and like walking in the river. If I'm just getting out or doing whatever, I'll push it a little bit. But yeah, as far as wading, actually walking down or upriver, I try not to go past my knees.
Yeah, one step at your waistline, you're filling them up versus if you have a little extra into your chest.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, it can be bad.
Do you pay attention for fishing barometric pressure or for fishing the smaller tribs? I mean, I think people, like you said, you do.
I do, but I mean, there's so many instances where you have to go and you have to fish.
Right.
And I mean, you might not have the best day or you might not have the worst day. I mean, I think it matters, but if you present your bait the correct way, and are in front of fish, I think
barometric pressure also like falls into like conditions more than anything else. Like, so if you have like decreasing pressure, you probably have weather moving in, and therefore you have cloudiness, and therefore you maybe have wind or you have a storm. And like I kind of like would experience this a lot with like kokanee fishing. Like kokanee, I feel like they're like some of the more finicky, stupid little annoying fish, and I hated fishing. Like we'd get 4 or 5 days of rain, cloudy conditions, and then that first day of sunlight, where it's nice and bright, and then that's the day everybody wants to get out.
It's the
Like,
worst.
oh, the weather's nice. That's always the worst day for the kokanee bite. And you'll watch them and they just, but other sunny days, like that pressure, so let's say that pressure comes up and it rose up and it's stable, but it's the first day after those kokanee have experienced cloudy weather for 5 days. Like that first day always just sucks, even if the pressure is stable. And even if the pressure is stable the next day, it's almost like the next day is much better just because they adjusted to the pressure change. But like it was like the pressure change already occurred. It's been stable, but maybe it's a 24 or 48 hour period after it got stable.
Yeah.
Then they decided to bite. Or was it because the conditions just changed drastically? And with small river fishing, I mean, low pressure brings the rains, brings the storms, brings,
Yeah, and it's just water dropping, fish acclimating, fish stopping, fish.
And whether or not they bite though too, just to bring up another one, just because we're gonna go off on tangent. Whether or not they bite though too also doesn't necessarily mean, like, it could also not be a fish biting thing. It also could be if the fish are there, because we know, like, we know period at buoy 10. Like, fish will just stack and stay up in there for a few days, during a thermal block, tides, whatever. But that first day of low pressure comes overnight, freaking those fish are gone. So it's not like they didn't bite, they just left.
Fish move, whether they move out of where you're at or into where you're at, they move.
So the guys upriver on the low pressure are like, this is great, we're catching them. And then the guys where the fish were at are going, low pressure sucks, they're gone. I don't know, man. It's fishing.
Yeah, see, I disagree with, like, when you say that's the worst day.
We don't care
to
what you
me,
say. Moving on, next question.
No, hang on. But to me, that's my favorite day, because I use my Catch Zone app to monitor the pressure, right? And then I also look at the moon phase, and I know that first day of low pressure and a full moon, I'm going heavy UV, and I switch all my gear out, dude. And that is the best day of kokanee fishing I get. So I completely disagree.
How many times have you been kokanee fishing in your boat?
In my new boat, I use that. Kokanee fishing was my old couple boats.
A big part of he uses the Catch Zone app to do it.
Yeah, and that's when I use that. I use that to determine if I'm going heavy UV or not. Like those days, dude, I will bust out my UV blast and I will light my line up, my lure, my reel, like before I launch the boat, dude, I spray the bottom of the boat because I want them.
Shower in it while you're at it. Duh.
Yeah. I'm just saying. That's why those are the sucky days for you. You need to switch up UV.
The days Clint comes out and just cleans my cloth. Yeah. He's back in the dock at 8. I'm like still out there. Yeah, okay, whatever. Shut up.
Next question.
Moving on. I can't believe we spent that much time on that. Tips for a new drift boater, Cody Bloom.
I'm gonna say, and not just because I'm a guide, but take a trip with a guide on the river that you want to go on.
Don't do that.
Yeah, terrible idea.
Not all guides are created equal. Let's just leave it at that. And some aren't willing to teach you, and some aren't willing to talk.
But specify. So if you do that, specify. Okay, this is the kind of trip that I want. I'm a new drift boater. I just got a new drift boat or raft or whatever. I want to go down the river, and I want you to explain to me why you're doing what you're doing.
You could literally say you're more interested in, now everyone wants to catch fish, but you're also like really more interested in like a few less fish if it means we can spend more time talking about the sticks and talking about rowing and how to approach water and how to approach different rapids at different water levels, like things like that. You can talk to the guide. Some guides are really amenable to that, and some are like, yeah, you're going to be on my river, you can pound sand.
Yeah, yeah.
So make sure you go with the right ones. Another thing is that if you're a new drift boater, I always say this a lot with new steelheading, is take a drive on the Saturday, see where drift boats are launching, see where they're taking out, and then generally for the most part pick kind of the lower sections of rivers where you have less gradient generally. There are some exceptions. Someone's going to be like, oh, the lower is all okay, whatever, I get it, but there are most rivers generally, as you get a little lower in the river, tend to have a little less rowdiness in the rapids, and those are the places you want to go to learn to row and to learn to navigate a boat and get comfortable with doing that before you progress either up the river or to different rivers.
Yeah, and I would say another tip for that is do some e-scouting. Go onto your maps, your Google Maps, your Apple Maps, Catch Zone, and just look at the rivers. Sometimes you can pick up like bank access spots, boat launches.
And then you can mark those all in your Catch Zone app and then go back to them and then have all those good referrals as you're going down the river.
Especially when you guys get that contour line thing going, that'll be really good for e-scouting because then you can
tell you where some holes are and tell
Yeah.
you where some shallow spots are. The shallow spots are going to be the moving spots.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. Next question, Clint. Next favorite question. We'll get to some of the new ones. Question: what are your top 3 first aid emergency things you guys have on your boat at all times, other than obvious like life jackets? I got a few.
What are they?
Well, it depends on where you're fishing.
Well, if we're gonna just leave it to raft and drift boat. One is because I almost farmed the raft a few years ago. Is a very, very, very good knife, especially if you're doing any kind of anchoring anywhere or even carrying an anchor on boat. A knife that can cut rope in a freaking emergency situation really fast. Case in point, going down a rapid, and we were up fishing some real, like, not normal stuff. We'll just leave it at that. And I went through a rapid.
Dude, I know exactly.
I went through a rapid, and my cleat let go of my anchor in the middle of the rapid and stopped us we were going flying down this thing, and boom, stopped us, threw everybody forward. And I didn't have a knife. I did have a good pair of scissors, though, like one of those like kind of meat cleaver kind of scissors. And the boat stopped, and I felt it just pulling, and it started to do the side swing, and it was just a matter of seconds before that boat would swing out and flip. And I was able to grab those heavy scissors, and the rope was so freaking tight.
You touched it.
That I grabbed those scissors and went pow, and it blew that rope up.
Mm.
So a knife, if you're doing any anchoring, I don't care how slow the water is, where you're anchoring, if you carry an anchor on board and you're going through any kind of rapids, if the cleat lets go, anything like that, a sharp knife to get out of that ropes. Because I wasn't even able, what happened was we were going down and it let go and then the rope shot so fast and I don't have a knot in the end of my anchor. So in case of emergency, I can just pop the cleat, let it go, and just say la vie to that anchor, like whatever.
Yep.
It's not going to pin, but the rope shot so fast that it balled it up. I just carried it at my feet. It balled it up and freaking slammed it into the cleat and pinned us.
Jeez.
So I just had a mess there, or I had cut the rope, and I didn't have time to do both.
Oh, no.
And so I just grabbed the scissors and boom, blew the rope up. And yeah, I donated an anchor that day, but I didn't flip the raft. And so sharp knife at where you're doing your anchoring in case of an emergency, always. That's one of them. You got one?
Do you think it's just sharp, or do you think, like, I have a serrated one for cutting?
Like a serrated in a hole, like honestly.
Yes.
So after that, I had a little serrated knife in one of those plastic kayak sheath that if I ever had to, I could go, whack, and it's gone.
Yeah.
So,
I have that in my fish fighter holder up at my anchor station. Like, it's one of those serrated, meant for cutting rope type of thing there.
Emergency rope wrench.
I think top 3, mine would be electrical tape.
Oh yeah. Good for hands and good for stuff.
Yep, electrical tape, a knife, and there's one other thing.
I always had a throw bag in my boat.
And just an extra section of rope.
Yeah.
At 25, usually I just carry about 25 extra feet of rope. Those 3 things.
So I had a little throw
Essential.
bag with it, always just on a clip that I could just grab, hold on one end, and just throw it like a water rescue. I always carried one right next to my little pump. Yep, the old monkey fist. Carried one of those and then used it for portaging around crap or whatever, like if you needed to, if you were kind of exploring like that. And then, like you said, it never hurts to have a little extra rope in the boat for sure.
Yeah, I've always had, whether it be 100 feet of rope or 50 feet of rope or 25 feet of rope, I've always had extra rope, electrical tape, and a knife.
First aid kits and life jackets out. Yeah. Next question, man.
What?
Difference from fiberglass to aluminum boats. I could speak a little bit on this one.
Go ahead.
So your fiberglass, get a little more flexy.
Mm-hmm. A little bit more give.
A little more give, but the design of that is like when you're going over real shallow water, the fiberglass boat's going to kind of like slide and walk a little better than aluminum will. Aluminum will tend to hit rocks and kind of really stick and jam. With that said, though, I think they're a little more durable. A lot of times you got to kind of like fix and seal up and replace the fiberglass ones. Not really. I mean, the new 𝗛𝗘𝗟𝗣 drift boats. I mean, I was up with Rob Kratzer in those, and the way we were hitting rocks, I was like,
dude,
good God. And he's just like, no, it's just a scratch. It'll be fine. I'm not saying that they won't, but the fiberglass tends to glide over rocks a little better when you make contact than aluminum ones. However, aluminum ones don't flex, and they're a little more, I'd say they're a little more, the floors are a little more stable if you don't get the inserted raised floors. So it's kind of a, I don't know, not yin or yang, but like one or the other. I mean, it's kind of a personal preference kind of thing, but I prefer fiberglass.
I was going to say, I would prefer fiberglass. There is a couple of give and takes. Like you said, you go over rocks a little bit easier. You have a little bit more forgiveness when you hit stuff. I will say the one nice thing, or a nice thing about an aluminum boat is they have squared chines. So when you go to anchor, that chine will cut the water a lot better, and you have a tendency to stay straighter. Because like in my boat the other day, we were trying to anchor in this super fast spot, and the rounded chines, they just don't. Yeah. You walk a bit more.
What about dumping your oars in and pinning them in?
See, we were doing that. We were using the bow anchor. It was just one of those situations where it was like, this is just a tough spot to anchor. I mean, even an aluminum boat would have been swaying around a little bit. I mean, it was fast current.
Well, if the water is boily too, you're going to get a little bit of that. But
yeah.
I mean, you're saying they can walk. They get
a little bit more walky.
They track a little better.
Yeah, the aluminum boats track a little bit better.
Could see that, but hard corners also grab better in bad situations.
That is
rounded
very
corners
true.
On aluminum boats, on fiberglass boats, aren't going to try to suck in a little differently though too. So
yeah, you slide a little bit better. No, I would agree. I would prefer the fiberglass boat. Granted, I haven't been in a ton of aluminum boats, but I've been in enough of both to where, like, if I was going to go buy a drift boat tomorrow, I would just go right down to Clackcraft and get a Clackmax.
Yeah.
So I've been very, very impressed
my
with
first
the amount of water
first
that thing will go
my
through.
first guide boat was a wood drift boat. Wood, bro.
Love it.
OG. No, I'm not even going to try to claim that. Next question. Moving on.
Let's see. Oh, we've got some more favorites
river
now.
safety needs to be talked about when we had some drown. Whoa, we had someone drown this last weekend. BC.
Up in BC?
BC. Oh, shoot. That's not good to hear, BC. I mean, yeah, unfortunately, it's the water and stuff happens fast in the water. And I mean, we've all kind of dealt, not dealt with, but not experienced that. But yeah, I mean, unfortunately, yeah, it has happened. So it is kind of always good time to reiterate a little bit and have these discussions. And you never know, we might say something on this live feed that some new beginner he might carry a rope, carry a knife next time next to a sharp knife for his rope, and snags an anchor in a bad spot and flips it, instead of flipping his drift boat, might get away.
Mind, right?
Yeah, it might get away. So you never know, man. That's what we do these things for. But it's also to listen to you guys, because we also learn a lot of really good tips from you guys as well. So BMAC, Cam, federal hatchery is a better option, or state? Seems like the big river in Idaho is always producing steelhead. Yeah, because BMAC, if they plant them, they will come. And it's like, the problem is, like, I think what happens there is we have federal hatcheries and federal priorities and policies that basically make planting steelhead a priority. And then I just don't believe we just have that in Washington Fish and Wildlife at all. They just do not care. They want to study. It doesn't matter to them. It doesn't matter to them that you have a fish to catch.
They don't care.
They do not care. Prove me right. They don't care. Prove me wrong. They don't care. So I think it is a little bit of different. And that all starts with policy at the top, with elected officials, and from the top down. I think that's what it is, because I know a lot of great people that work at the WDFW. great people. I worked with a lot of them back in the day that are still there at the department. And I know they want what we all want. They're fishermen themselves, so I can't necessarily say all of them, but our policy, our commission, it's like, geez, it's just a freaking joke, man. Next question. Saw a WDFW research boat thing that was absolutely massive and ripping down the waterways. Don't know what they were researching, but they looked happy on board.
I mean, that could be a couple different things depending on the region you're in and what river you're on. It could be a survey team.
They do everything from carcass surveying this time of year to in the spring they'll do smolt seining. They'll do even some hook and line sampling in certain scenarios. I don't know where you're at. Maybe give us a little more specifics because we're kind of familiar with some of the things they do down here. There might be something new. Who knows?
They were out surveying today.
Yeah, but this time of year they'll do a lot of like carcass surveys where they get population estimates and tag recoveries by doing that. They're out usually once a week on some of our local waterways, floating them, driving them. But sometimes they're netting. I mean, even in our river, they go in the springtime and net some of the wild Chinook and CWTM on the water. Anyway, they do a lot of things like that, but maybe a little more specific. Are we going to also cover kayak safety during this go around? And Ryan, here's the thing, just to be in full disclosure, like we're not kayakers, so like I can't really speak to it other than the basics. Probably watch your weather, watch your tides. Don't go far from the ramp. I don't really know, man. Like that's.
I mean, I think a lot of what we're talking about with drift boats and rafts can pertain to kayaks as well. Yeah. But like Cam said, I mean, I can't tell you the last time I was in a kayak, so it's something that we can't really speak on with any experience. But a lot of the things, like I said, that we're talking about can pertain to kayak fishing as well.
And to be fair, too, like with the kayak craze, I'll call it, like there is so much good, valuable information online, too. Like I'm sure these guys have put like beginning kayaking and stuff like that, sites that you might want to check out. They get be a little more specific on the topic. I mean, we like this format because we can kind of go back and forth with you guys if you're commenting. But yeah, you might want to give that a check out. So, Cody, do you need lights on the bow and stern of a drift boat when launching a trib in the dark? No, you do not.
And is the answer no because it's not powered? Like,
believe so.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Yep.
But I will say.
But what if it is powered? What if you have a drift boat with a
kicker? But I think it's like if you're over, like it's a 10 horse.
If it's over 9.9 in navigable waters, you have to have your nav lights on.
Check your regulations.
Well, that's exactly. I was gonna say that could change from state to state. And you know, it's even funny, like fishing some of this stuff, like in Arizona and Nevada and California. Like some of the rules are like really drastically different than Washington State and Oregon State, like even when it pertains to like life jackets and throwables. And so you do need to check your local rules and regulations on that one. We're not gonna speak to that too much today.
I roll in the dark.
Yeah.
Incognito, bro.
Gotta sneak out. My drift boat's black.
No.
That's the plan.
Do you row it via braille? Like you hit something, you steer the other way? Like
that's what I offer in my trips. I offer nighttime drifts.
Yeah.
Especially in
I know someone who did that one time.
Clear skies.
Didn't work out for him very well.
No?
No. I've heard that fish don't hide in the same spots as low water during high water. Why? And I can tell you why. I have a very good answer why.
Let's hear it.
You want to hear it?
Catch Zone told me so.
Because you haven't looked at the Catch Zone app. Is EJ even still here anymore?
No, he left. He got mad at me. He left.
You got mad at Clint. Weird. No.
Just joking.
The main reason why, from low to high water, guys, you are going to have two different things. You're going to have higher velocity, obviously, and that's going to move fish to different areas where they might sit in low water, out in the middle behind that big boulder. When the water comes up 6 feet, now it's roaring and it's got a big boily, all this turbulence behind it. Fish don't want to sit there. And then you also have water clarity. And so water clarity, like they're not going to go like a coho if the water's high and muddy and only visibility is only 2 feet, they are going to like move up and gravitate up to the edges, or at least a little shallower than they would just sitting in the deep dark freaking hole trying to hide from you under a log.
Yeah,
So-
and I would say that they would cling to a little bit more structure. It gives them a little
Feel
bit
more
more
current.
sense of security and a current break.
Yeah, current breaks that were out of the water in low water might be like the best place in the world for them to be in high water.
Yeah.
So that's one thing about being a good salmon and steelhead fisherman, is always kind of like figuring out those adjustments.
Dude, I was looking
the
at the
conditions we
river
get
today where we usually fish
Mm-hmm.
like later in the year when it's a lot higher.
Oh yeah.
I was like, oh my goodness, dude, it is so
Why can't
low
there just
right
be
now.
like, so here's a prime example.
Why can't it just be up
Here's a
here
prime
right
example.
now?
Here's a prime example. Like coho, like right now, will like lay out in the middle of a run, get in some cover, like. But when the water's high, they'll like go to a backwater
Yeah.
and sit to get out of the current in like
Yep.
a pond, like where they probably won't do that in like when that pond is only 2 feet deep and crystal clear.
Yeah, sometimes high water can be better.
Oh, 100%.
Like Cam just said, it takes the whole entire river out of the equation and moves them to certain parts of the river. Consolidation.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. How do you catch a coho when you're restricted to the bank on a Southwest Washington home river, when everywhere you go, you know there are fish, all you run into is 12-foot leaders and corkies? Yeah, that is kind of the problem, Jeff G. I'm not going to lie. Like, it sucks because those people, I think, if those people kind of weren't there, whether they're snagging deliberately or just drifted a bait,
That's what I was going to ask. Is he
that's up for
alluding
the
to
enforcement
snaggers?
officer to decide, but it sucks because, yeah, I think those places would be real viable fishing. What?
Is that what he's alluding to? Snaggers?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't fish 12-foot
tough.
leaders with corkies, so
Yeah, no, unfortunately, I do think that has a huge role in the way that some of our local Southwest Washington fish bite. A lot of them are biters, but people just don't tend to care or want to put forth the effort to get them to bite. So they make them wear it. And I think if people didn't do that, I think we would have a much better,
Much more productive fishing. 100%.
much better.
Yeah, unfortunately, situations like that, I just try to get away from them, try to fish lower than them, try to get access to those fish before they do.
Yeah.
A lot of times those guys are looking for areas where the fish are like concentrating, and that means the fish is probably like moved up, and that's like they've kind of met their destination or darn close. Whereas if you're looking like for fresh biting fish, you want the ones that are moving to their destinations, not the ones that are there. So a lot of times getting away from those areas, fishing a little lower, can be very beneficial, and you can get away. And there's not a concentration of fish in those lower areas, but they're moving through, and those are your fresher fish that are more apt to bite and that are hopefully naive and haven't had a black corky tried to be snagged into them. I was going to say something else, but snagged into them. You're getting them first, essentially.
Yeah.
There might not be as many.
They'll just be more
Don't get
willing.
attracted to that hole that's just boiling with a bunch of dark salmon.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can find some of those. What should I do or not do if a raft or drift boat flips in front of me if I'm bank angling rope bag? Yeah, I mean, so a couple things that are important, so I flipped a raft, and it's I don't really know what you should do as a banky other than try to assist it any way you can. And I don't really know what that is with the situation, of course. But I know that when I flipped my raft, my first priority was to, we all were wearing inflatable life jackets. And my first priority was looked for both my clients and made sure that their life jackets were inflated and that they were accounted for first thing. Because when I flipped, I ended up underneath the raft. And then after that, it was try to get the raft to the side of the river. Fortunately, where we flipped was not anything like we were going, down a rapid. But generally, what you'd want to do is if you're in the water, you'd want to somehow position yourself to where your feet down the river first, your feet and butt are there, and you're backpedaling, so you're trying to protect your head and basically against any boulder situation. I know for like the kayakers, you know, it's always hold on to your paddle and all that stuff. But like, I think for you guys, if you're falling in the water with your waders and your life jacket on, get your feet out in front of you and just start moving to a bank somewhere. I mean, other than that.
And when you say that, don't you want your feet up?
Yeah,
like,
you want your feet up.
Like not just in front of you, but you want
your
them.
feet deflecting. If you're going down the rapid, you're trying to protect your head. That's what you're doing.
And keep your feet
and
out
to
of
not get your
snags.
feet under snags or logs or whatever, right?
Yeah, and I would say if you're a bank angler and you witness a boat going over and you can walk down the bank, follow the boat, try and get eyes on, you know, the anglers that came from the boat, and just keep eyes on them. Don't worry about the boat unless people are hanging
the gear,
onto
the boat, none of that matters.
Watch the people.
Yeah.
Watch the people, follow the people as far as you can, and try and get a hold of somebody as soon as you can. If they go out of sight from you or whatever, just take a bearing on where you're at in the river, and I mean, just call authorities. That's all you can do, really.
You know, one thing that happened with my situation was we flipped the raft, and we were able to get the raft, fortunately, over to the bank. One of the guys was having a little harder time, and I was like, let go of the raft, just go. And fortunately, we weren't in a very, honestly, it was like a lake. It wasn't bad. But once we got the raft over, and the three of us were there, and we were kind of like assessing the situation, you know, one thing that popped in my head is like, okay, we're all like adrenaline up, but it's February, and we're on the river, and we just all hit, you know, 40-degree water.
We gotta go.
And one of the guys was like, no, I just need to chill here for a minute. I'm like, no. I'm like, well, fine, you chill, but we got to get this raft uprighted, and we got to go. Like, there's no...
hypothermia
we're going to
sets
grab
in
whatever
fast.
gear we can on the way out, but we are going right now to the ramp. And fortunately, we weren't that far from it, but that's something to consider in the cold water stuff is like people are going to start locking up and getting real cold on you. And that was one thing. Fortunately, we were only a few holes above, but I just remember one of the guys was like, no, I got to kind of like get my bearings. I'm like, no, BS, get in the raft. This raft is leaving. Like, now, when we were on the other side of the river from like where we would not have any aid from any other houses or anything, we were kind of on the dark side of the river, if you will.
Yeah.
So we needed to get moving.
Well, here's another. So this question is kind of long. So something like that, like I would say, like buoy 10, crossing bars, having an EPR or something. But for your guys' situation when you're fishing this small river stuff and maybe not cell reception, do you guys care? Not maybe necessarily. I mean, an EPR would work, right? But what about a Garmin Spot or some sort of one of those satellite?
Some people carry an inReach.
One of those.
Nowadays, with at least the newer iPhones, you can get a hold of people via satellite through text message.
Yeah.
But a lot of times when I'm going somewhere where I don't know the river very well or something along those lines, I'll tell people, okay, hey guys, when we're going down the river and if something happens, whatever we do, if we're all overboard or whatnot, we need to make sure that we get, like when we go to the bank, we need to go to this side of the bank because this is the side of the bank that either the road's on, there's houses on, or somewhere we can get access to help.
Yeah.
That's a big thing, is knowing geologically where you're at or geographically where you're at on the river, and knowing where help can be.
Yeah, because when we flipped, if we wouldn't have got the raft,
Fortunately,
we were in ice. We would definitely been out there a lot longer. And like I said, in the wintertime situation, that's not necessarily the best.
Yeah,
that's why it makes me nervous. Like, makes me want to consider having inReach or an EPR. It's like something that if cell phone doesn't work, like telling someone, like your wife, telling a friend or your wife, hey, I'm going to be fishing here. Right. So that only does you so good. But if you start getting hypothermic and stuff, like that's not going to help when they're like, hey, you're not home and it's 10 hours later.
Right. So I was going to say the float plan, like telling people where you're at. Like one thing I have on my phone is my wife always has my location.
Yeah.
And because, generally I'm off the water every day at 10 o'clock with my limited fish. Like it just, every now and then.
Yeah. And you post it to the Cat Zone social media feed, your location, spots.
But she knows, like, oh, it's been kind of a long day. I haven't heard from her. Like, she'll look at the, oh, he's still out on the water. Oh, no, he's at the dock. Or, there's a little bit of benefit to that. Of course, obviously, a lot of places we fish, we don't get that, service. But that is something to where it's like, oh, well, you know, your loved one's like, okay, you're supposed to be back in town, or you're supposed to be in town, and they keep looking, and it's like getting dark, and you're not there.
In the same spot.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
yes.
a little bit like, oh,
Something might be up.
So always letting your people know, letting your kin know where you're at, where your buddies know where you're at, and that kind of thing. And that's always really important, especially exploring new rivers. What resources are out there for hazards? New river you're going to drift. Like we talked about the Catch Zone app with EJ, you know, doing a lot of like online research, doing a little reading the forums, kind of checking that stuff out, plotting and planning where you're at, reading articles, looking at YouTube, some of that stuff.
Yeah.
Contrary to addicted fishing, there's 5 million other freaking
Platforms.
YouTubes out there that will tell you the river names and stuff like that, and maybe go through it. You know, check them out, kind of learn from it a little bit. Always take that information with a grain of salt, though.
Yes.
Like what some people, we've learned over the years, what some people on forums think that is a like, oh my God, you are going to be lucky. It's a 50-50 chance of you making this rapid there, bud.
Yeah.
Turns out to be like a freaking walk in the park, and the opposite. Like, oh yeah, that rabbit, it's no problem. And it was just a white knuckle freaking bounce fest all
Just
the way down.
depends on perspective.
Yeah, so just kind of always take it with a grain of salt, but at least have it in the back of your mind. But, you know, doing your online research, talking to like local fishing shops, a lot of times they'll help you. A lot of other fishing guides will help you too, people that know it. Really good. Tell people why wading belts are so important, because it's a lot better to have a puff of air in your wading pants than freaking 50 gallons of water if you're in turbid water. If you go in, slip off the rock.
It acts as flotation.
Yeah, it keeps that water out, and then if you're in boily water too, where the water currents are like, you know, upwelling and pulling down and swirling, like if you have 50 gallons of water, like, and that water starts pulling you down, that's why people get sucked down with waders. And so having that wading belt, I mean, it's not you know, because you don't wear those things like so freaking tight that you're gonna lose water, but it does give you some flotation to stay up and to hopefully not get sucked down, and gives you a little more of a chance for sure. Super chat. Another safety risk is people who think they own the river. A guy pulled out a rifle and told me to get out of his hole.
Whoa.
Well, Andrew, the best thing to do is pull out a bigger rifle. Just kidding.
I was just going to say the same thing.
Yeah, like, why are you going that? Why aren't you going strap, bud?
That's not enough. This is
Dude,
enough.
it's things like that happen. Like chances are, if someone's that stupid to brandish a weapon out there, like I guarantee you, like they probably already have a history with enforcement. And I'd be letting them know immediately. Like that's what they get paid to do, and they're very good at it, and they will root that crap out immediately.
Well, that, and it's not worth fighting over, and it's probably worth just letting the guy have his hole in that case.
Yeah,
and
there's no finish or hole worth fighting over for like that, in that respect. So just move on, but report him, because if he's done it to you, he's probably done it to others, and he's a jackwagon that needs to be dealt with.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's switch it up, because we got 10 minutes left, and we got to do a Fish USA giveaway. How about, now we've given all of our tips, let's do a Fish USA giveaway and have everybody comment their best safety tip, because we might learn something from them, right? So like some sort of, what's your best thing that you carry on your boat, your whatever first aid, your best safety tip, let's get them to comment now, and every one of those that come up, I'll pin them really quick, and then we'll randomly pick someone and give you a Fish USA gift card. Yeah, does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you guys tell me which one you think is, but we'll start tagging them, or, oh my gosh, I can't even talk. We'll start pinning them to the broadcast so everyone else can read them as well. So.
Yeah. Fishing, hunting, hiking, whatever, file a flight plan with someone. Yeah.
Ooh, flight plan. This guy must be a pilot. Who said that?
He must be a real pilot, not you.
D. Larson must be. Flight plan? Look at him. $10 says he's a pilot.
Like
$10.
$10
says he's a pilot.
I fly RC. Okay, Cameron.
It's about the size of an RC plane. I've seen RC planes bigger than that thing.
I used to fly jets and real airplanes.
Extra oar? Yep. I always carry an extra oar on the raft.
Yeah, that should have been number one. Yep. When we talked about
not something that I guess I haven't carried one
whistle
on my drift boat.
Person. Yeah, whistles. Yeah. Yep. Rope. We talked about that one. A water pump for your drift boat. Yeah. Square bucket. Not a rounded bucket, a square one that you can get a little more bite with the bucket. We just talked about square buckets. Is Clint having a stroke? Oh, best thing I can on my boat is my concealed carry. No one's going to argue with that. Practice that Second Amendment, my friend.
Indeed, Eli.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed.
The EpiPen. Yeah, I don't carry an
Where you're
EpiPen. Even on the banks, wearing a PFD during high water. Yeah, one slip
good
off
call.
the rocks.
It's a good call. And they make really comfy, like, kind of low-profile PFDs, too.
Toilet paper and waterproof matches. Definitely carry the dude wipes. Never know when the client has an emergency.
Always gotta have dude wipes, bro.
Damn, Clint is firing on all cylinders. Yeah, all one of them.
Whistle.
Wait, what?
Extra change of clothes, first aid kit, pliers, and flare gun. On anchors, always have a knife at arm's reach, so you can cut away if necessary. Yep.
Don't forget to wear your raincoat.
Carry a knife, bank fishing, or some type of raft. Yeah.
Spare tire, dry socks, water activated strobe, a barbecue, go with camera, Jason to cook all the fish you're gonna catch.
Spare tools. Do you need tools for drift boats?
I carry some tools.
When I was rafting, I carried like the one tool that I could like adjust the frame with if I had to ever pull
the half-inch ratchet.
Ever had to pull it apart and bail it out or pull it off the river.
Mm-hmm.
First aid kits, yes, have one.
I usually always carry a couple extra cam lock straps, a crescent wrench, a screwdriver. That's pretty much it.
Glocks don't rust. Don't wade in water you're not comfortable with. Fair. Yeah. True. Yeah. Todd said, how about some Narcan? God, when I was at the hospital yesterday, they had the free Narcan booth out in front of it. I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh, you just go get a couple Narcans. Didn't take any. No. Make sure your PFD is rated for your weight. Good point.
Yeah.
Oh, those are weight limited?
Make sure that your life jacket's charged. So I'm not going to say who, and it's nobody related to Addicted. So like the story is not going to have anything, but he fished a whole
season,
𝗛𝗘𝗟 season. So he would replace his CO2 cylinders and the little the disc.
He forgot that you didn't.
And so he took all his life jackets out, took those pieces out, was gonna order or maybe ordered them, but then didn't put them in. Fished a whole season at 𝗛𝗘𝗟, and I'm not gonna say who. And it's like I said, it's no one at Addicted. It's no one you've seen on any videos. So it doesn't matter. But it's just a good thing to think of. And then he said he fished the whole season, and then when he was like drying them out, like whether like at the end of the season, he like grabbed one and he kind of like, and he was wearing one too, but like it felt weird, and he kind of like looked in it and realized that like every one of those life jackets wasn't charged.
Oh my goodness.
So double checking that. And I'm going to be telling you, like, because I've got like 3 or 4 of them that are like at my house that either came from like the bass boat or from storage that have popped.
Yep.
That are sitting like in my garage. And so I always freak out. I always like throw those like way separate. I got to get the little recharger one. I have enough of that.
What I always do when I have one blow up or something and I don't have a recharge kit immediately, I'll put it back like normally, but I'll leave the back open.
That's like that. Watching it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably just a good idea to go through them every now and then. Just make sure that the little disc looks green and not red.
Yeah.
Sunscreen. Yeah, always take Clint with you on your trips. Sure. Yeah. Keep it a few $1 ponchos from Walmart. Not a bad idea.
Not a bad idea.
I like this one.
Bring pepperoni. Hell yeah. Bring pepperoni. Always carry a magnesium fire starter first aid kit, 2 MREs, a jet boil, and the Folger coffee tea bag things. I like it, Mike. I like it. If I was fishing a little more off the grid stuff, I would probably.
I would do a lot more
backpack
stuff.
I used to do the jet boil, coffee ramen things.
Okay, so here's a hack for you guys, and Kalen taught me this, was he would run his jet boil, he'd get water, obviously boil it, and then when it's just super freezing cold outside and you can't even feel your feet, you untie or you open up your wading boots and you pour that boiling water into your wading boots, and it is magnificent.
What?
Yeah.
That's
Shout
the
out
guy-
Keelan
yeah,
Fairley.
That's a guy that spent a lot of time in freezing cold BS winter steelhead fishing. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, he definitely does his fair share of that.
Hopefully the guy learned a lesson. Paramagician, I can tell you it scared him absolutely to death. He said he turned white when he realized, like, and yeah, I mean, now I'm telling somebody this, and now maybe you'll all go and check your life jackets and maybe find that one, like, popped or something and didn't know it. I mean, just it's always worth just giving them another look.
Have you had
There you go.
yours just pop randomly?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, I mean,
I had
Yeah.
4 of them go off this fall.
they'll
Did you have
pop.
them in the sun?
Yeah,
So when it got hot?
yeah.
Yeah,
So they got wet and then it gets hot?
They were already dry.
Yeah, but they were wet. And you dried them out and then it gets really hot. That's when all mine have.
You can't store them in clothes. You have to take them out. So if I have a real rainy day in the sled, like instead of throwing them back in the hatch, I'll throw them in the back of the truck,
Yeah.
and then I bring them home. And like, you know, it just in that process though, like for instance, when I was fishing a tournament 2 weeks ago on Willie, and when I got done, I threw my life jacket on the floor of my bass boat, but it was raining, and then when I put the boat on the trailer, a little bit of that water fell, like slid and kind of pooled in the back corner of the cockpit. And I'm like, God damn it. So yeah, I mean it happens, but yeah. Just go to Amazon.
I don't have to worry about it because you ding dongs blow about all 4 of mine once a year.
Yeah.
Freaking
Shut
ding
up.
dongs.
Cry, Clint Cam.
You guys are
Warm
idiots.
clothes. Yep. Ben Adams. Better learning that way than the hard way. Yeah, exactly. That's why I said it. And I'm not going to say who it is. I'm never going to repeat to anybody who told me that. It doesn't really matter. But
It happened.
it happened. So no biggie. That's a serious pro tip. I agree.
All right. We want to give away a Fish USA gift card and
I think
Let's
we
do
should.
it.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
just randomly pick one or what?
Yeah, do it.
Randomizer.
Randomizer?
Best thing to leave a float plan. At least that way my wife will have an idea where to start looking for me. Jim Bradbury. Well, congratulations, bro. You won that Fish USA gift card. If you email orders at addicted.fishing, tell us you won that gift card. I think this is the Jim Bradbury. I think we've done a lot of fishing together. I think. Anyways, email us orders
Rigged.
at addicted.fishing, and we will send you the digital gift card for $25 to Fish USA.
Yeah.
Mac D says, what I miss? Probably a lot if you just
All
kept
of it.
joining it, but you can always watch this again on the old YouTube. All right. Really, really good discussion, guys. I think what we'll do is we'll still probably do an etiquette discussion soon. We'll probably talk some fishing next week. What is next week? November?
Next week's November
Yeah, I mean, we
3rd.
still have plenty of time
Fourth,
to talk
fifth?
about. Probably need to bring like some. I feel like we need to bring like some eggs in here and show people like what to do with eggs and maybe like dry them out, like how, like what as a good like drifting egg, what's a good bobber egg, what maybe how to apply baits and scents to some of those eggs, and then I feel like you could use them the next day kind of thing. You're fishing a lot.
Yeah. Next week.
We should like really like breaking down. I was thinking about that today. Like we can have a discussion on like breaking down like getting fancy with your eggs.
Dawson,
If that will.
yes.
Or baits in general. Or we could talk etiquette. What do you guys want to talk about next week?
I mean,
What do you guys want to talk about? What do you want to talk about?
yeah,
Clint's boat rip. I'm just telling you, if we're going to talk etiquette,
Just
anyone
don't be
you know
just
that
don't be
has
a jet skier.
Tell them to tune in. They could probably learn 1 or 100 or 200 things.
Yeah. I think
I hate
that would
when
be
people
good.
anchor 10 feet below me.
Yeah, I mean,
I was there that day. That
love
was.
to see a proper bead setup for a fly rod. Well, Kelly, you ain't gonna find that here because you're a fly fisher. No, I'm totally kidding. I love fly fishing too, but that's probably not going to be a live feed.
It'll only be Jason.
That's a YouTube thing.
I think it would
Eggs
be cool to
definitely
go
plugs.
do that.
Clint's valve covers.
Live.
Oh, that
camera
has
session.
to be. So Dawn did it at camp.
we
Live
do
curing.
that?
We did Julian, if you go back a few weeks, we did a live curing session. We actually even brought Keith Archer from Ultimate Egg Cure and did some live curing with him. So, but you can go back and check on the YouTube. We've got a bunch of those. Pulling plugs in drift boat, eggs for sure. Talk about eggs. What size diameter rope do I need to send my drift boat down a hill?
I would say no less than 1/2 inch.
Yeah.
No less.
And it's not necessarily the rope you want. It's like you need that rope for sending it down the hill, but it's not necessarily what you want to use for anchoring. Because if you have that real thick rope for anchoring, it's going to require you to use more lead and it drags more. So you want to go to like the 3/8 for anchoring. And believe it or not, that difference between the 3/8 and the 1/2 inch or the 5/8 for putting it down the hill makes a huge difference. So, anyways. When approaching a tail out, how do you know if it's a ledge rock before you get to it? Well, I mean, you can read the water a little bit, but it's just so like...
That just comes with going over it, just knowing where your experience with it.
Right. If it hits the bottom and it sounds like a freaking solid rock, whether it's just that or gravel, that's how you know.
I mean, you're not wrong, though.
No, I mean, maybe he's asking like if it's a bolt. I don't know. Oh, one thing we didn't say. So this is actually, and I can't believe we didn't say this earlier, because this goes to the guys that are new to drift boating too. If you have the opportunity to, and you don't know like the route, get out, get your butt out of the boat and walk down the bank where it's applicable and freaking scout the run. Scout the rapid. So if you're wondering if that ledge rock is something you can get over and there's like a 6-foot drop on the side of it or something like that, get out and look at it.
Scout it.
Scout it many, many times. And sometimes you can't, but most times you can kind of get out and take a look at the river.
274, 200 size.
Nice.
200 size.
Yeah. All right. I think we are going to check out of here. A lot of people said eggs. Some people said etiquette. No love for the fly guys, man. Kelly, I do love throwing, I've got fly rods up the wazoo. I've done a lot of swinging on the Nishigac for Kings, man. It was sick.
I would sure love to swing a freaking fly.
Oh, I'm glad you said fly for Kings. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Swing a fly for Kings.
I don't know if you're just one of those swing guys or fly for king guys. Okay.
No, flies for Kings.
He's fly curious.
Skate them and stomp them, boys. Skate them and
Dude,
stomp
the best fly fishing I've had is going up to freaking 𝗪𝗏𝗃 and fishing coho on the fly. That was like
strip.
Oh, especially we didn't float one afternoon, and we just walked in, and dude, once I figured out like this spot, like I just ripped across the river, and I just dropped these stupid little pink. Little mini twitching jigs. Oh god, and it was just vending machine status on chrome, sea lice, big old freaking Alaska coho, and it was disgusting. And I would go back there any time. It was really cool. Talk about free guided fishing trips. Not much to talk about. Jason, thanks for the tutorial, dude. Good job. Did we put out a tutorial recently?
Yeah, I did a bead fishing for salmon tutorial the other day.
Oh, you talked about skookum beads in there.
I did.
Why would you use beads when you can use eggs?
I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. There is a time though. Yeah. There's a time. Time and a place. Time and a place.
Eggs and etiquette. I like it. Bye guys. Hope you all have a good night. Yeah, we're running out of steam, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and as always, we will see you on the river. Be safe out there. We'll see you next week. I don't know what it'll be, but we'll announce it probably earlier in the day. Got anything going on? Got any room this week? Got a big rain.
Not this week.
We'll talk next Wednesday, huh?
Yeah. It's never too early to book your winter steelhead days. So.